Hey folks, how you doing? I'm Jason Weidner, and I know what you're all thinking. Jeffrey Dahmer's really let himself go. He's definitely had too much rump steak, that's for sure. So I'm quite an awkward person. I'm the kind of person that when my wife takes me to her friends' barbecues, I can hear them huffing to themselves off to the side saying, why did she bring him? I'll try and get involved with conversations, and I'll usually kill them dead by saying things like, I don't think a car should look like it can fly unless it can actually fly. And, people just tend to start walking away. At these kind of parties, if there's a brand new carpet, I'll 100% drop my Ribena on it. So, I'm the kind of guy that if you invite me to your wedding, then I will burn down the reception venue. And I say that because it actually happened. So we're out. It was my wife's workmate's wedding, and I felt that I had to kind of keep up appearances and, keep my reputation high. So we're sitting at this big round table, and, we're all just sitting down, and they're all casually chatting about work. They work in a vet, so they're just talking about chopping off dogs' balls, gassing hamsters to death. The usual wedding chat. That's how it goes. And so we're all sitting about, and we're sitting around, and the father of the bride comes up, and he's like, starts his speech. It's really well written. He's obviously looked at some websites. And then he tries to inject a bit of humour into the thing, and he's like, he takes up that classic best man speech joke about, I just heard the groom saying he was going to bang her for 2 weeks. And so at that point, there's a few, gasps, there's a couple of laughs, and then at the back of the hall, this guy shouts, "That's your daughter!" Which I thought was really funny coming from the uncle that'd been stuck on the pedo table. The wedding keeps going on. The usual speeches are happening, the normal kind of affair. There's a bit of hugging, there's a bit of crying, there's the exchange of hostages. And it looks like it's all wrapping up. And the sister of the groom grabs hold of the mic. She wants to get into the limelight and get involved. So she starts trying to do this heartfelt speech, and she ends up saying, I never thought anyone was good enough for my brother. I was the only one good enough for my brother. And I guess bath time was supervised in that household. So at that point I'm like, oh, this is getting interesting. And I lean on the table that we're sitting at, and the legs fold up underneath it, and half of it tips down and just starts sending everything straight towards the head table. There's crockery, there's cutlery, there's glassware, there's knives and forks. Well, that's the same as cutlery, but it was a really posh wedding, so there was tons of them. So that's all just flying along, and I spot this bottle of red wine just careering around, heading straight towards the bride's dress. And once it hits the dress, it soaks into it like Ribena into a freshly laid carpet. It was shocking. In his haste, the groom starts trying to kind of get something to mop it up, but then he knocks this candle over, and it goes right into the dried flower centerpiece, and the whole thing goes up like a firework. And there's smoke everywhere, and I'm like, I need help. So I run over to try and help, and knock over a bottle of spirits that just goes across the table. Whole table just goes up, and the fire alarm goes off, and we all just run outside, and we get outside into the car park, and my wife's like, why do you always do this? And I'm like, I'm just about to say, well, no, I don't, but then just as I say it, the fire brigade start walking past, and each one of them looks at me and is like, all right, Jason. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, and I said before, I'm quite an awkward person, and I always wondered where that came from. So I I did this, one of those ancestry DNA tests, and it turns, it's really interesting what you can learn about your heritage and DNA and everything, and it turns out that I'm 10% Irish from my mum's side and 14% Welsh from my dad's side. I've also inherited my mum's farts and my dad's burps. And I don't know what that says about my conception, but I definitely think it involved ass to mouth. Thank you very much. I've been Jason Weidner. Enjoy the rest of your show.